Hello, and welcome to part 6 of the Photoshop tutorial series. This week, we're going to be focusing on hero shots. Now basically, the aim of a hero shot is to make your product the center of attention using color and placement. For our example, we're going to be using a well-known brand. This brand is the Microsoft Xbox One X console. So let me just show you the files or images that we will be using for this tutorial. The first one here is a photograph I took of the Xbox One controller. I have here an image I found on the net of the Xbox One console with the controller. I've got this really cool image here of the Xbox One logo with its corporate colors that we will be using in this tutorial. Okay, so let's make this hero shot. First we're going to start by making a new canvas. So I'm going to go up to File, New. Make sure my increments are set to millimeters. So it's an A3 image. So the width is 420. The height is 297. And we are going to make a resolution of 300 pixels per inch. Okay, there we go. But now, for the purposes of this tutorial, we actually want the canvas to be portrait and not landscape. So I'm going to go up to Image here, go Image Rotation, and I will rotate it 90 degrees clockwise. And zoom out. Okay, so let's start by importing the hero shot photo that I took. So I'm going to go up to it here. This is the photo that I took. Pretty simple. Just going to go Control A, select all, and Control C to copy. And then we're going to go back to the new canvas that we made. Here we go. And I'm going to go Control V to paste. And there's the photo. And now this is a pretty good time to actually save the file. So I'm going to go to File, Save As, and I'm going to call it hero shot. Okay. So now I want to fit this image to the page. So I'm going to make sure the layer is selected here. I'm just going to call that image. Then I'm going to go Control T for transform, and I'm just going to shrink this image down to the page like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and select the rectangular marquee tool. And I'm just going to go ahead now and just crop it down to the controller. Like so. Now we're going to introduce the logo into the mix. So I'm just going to move this image down the page a bit here. Like that. Then I'm going to go ahead and click on the image that I have here, which is the Xbox One logo with the corporate colors, which will come very handy. I'm going to go ahead now and just go Control A, select all, and Control C to copy. I'm going to go back to my hero shot PSD file, and I'm just going to go Control V to paste. Cool. So now it's pasted in, and I'm just going to move it up a bit, like that. Okay, so let's get this logo and fit it nicely to the page. I'm just going to go ahead now and go to the layer of the logo. I'm just going to call the layer logo. Okay, cool. I'm going to go V to move, and we're just going to place the logo nicely onto the page. So I've tucked it into the corner. I'm going to go ahead now and make it a smart object, because we want to increase the size of the image without losing quality, and a smart object will do that. So here we go. It's now a smart object. I'm going to go Control T to transform, and I am going to basically enlarge it and fit it to the page like that. Cool. So for the next step, we're going to go ahead now and change the color of the background to black. So I'm going to go here and click on the background, like that. Go Control A, and that will select the whole background. I'm just going to go ahead now and go to Edit, Fill, and use black. There we go, black. I'm going to go OK. Right, now the background is black. So we now want to create some sort of synergy between the image and the logo and the corporate colors. So we're going to do something super cool, which involves using the corporate colors in the background of this logo art here. So I'm going to go ahead now and click on the eyedropper, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 down from the top. You want to select the eyedropper tool. And then I want to go ahead now and select the green here in the logo. I'll click on that. Now, as you can tell, the green is now selected in the color palette here. Alright, now for the cool bit. So I'm going to go to the color palette here. You can see the green corporate color has already been selected. I'm going to click on the white box here in the background, which is the background color, and I'm going to make sure it is set to black, like so. Now I'm going to select the image in the layers. I'm selecting the image layer here. Now for the cool bit, we're going to go ahead now and introduce a gradient map into this controller image. Now we want to make sure that the colors have been set correctly. So let's just go look here at the colors again here in the palette. We want to make the green in the background and the black in the foreground. So there's this little button here that you can press, which is like a right-angled double arrow icon. If you click on that, it will swap the colors. So now the black is in the foreground and the green is in the background. Okay, so the colors are now set. So let's go ahead now and introduce this gradient map. I'm going to make sure that my image layer is selected, like that. And then I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, and Gradient Map, and let's see what happens. Alright, go OK. And there we go, that looks super cool. Basically, we're getting this really nice synergy between the branding of the Xbox to a hero shot of one of its products. So now we have created this nice, consistent theme across the whole page. Now, I just want to use the levels for a bit to get this image here to pop a little bit more. So once again, I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, and Levels. There we go. And I just want to get some more green and brightness popping from the image. So I'm going to move the white handle inwards a bit. We got that. There we go. It makes it a lot brighter. That looks really good. So I'm going to go ahead now and click OK. And now the image of the controller is just that little bit more punchier. So now it's time to get the logo placement right. So I'm just going to go ahead now to Logo, Layer, right click, and I'm going to go and rasterize it. We have already scaled the image, so there is no need for the Smart Object anymore, so we need to change it into a rasterized layer. So let's experiment with the placement of the Xbox One logo. So I'm going to go ahead now and make sure my logo layer is selected. I'm going to go to my marquee tool. I'm going to select the logo like this and go Control-C copy, Control-V paste. Now if I just click the V key for move, I can now just move around a copy of this logo. So I quite like the idea of placing the logo in the bottom left-hand corner of the green space here. So I'm just going to use V again for move. And using the arrow keys on the keyboard, I'm just going to nudge the logo and tuck it into the corner, like that. And now I want to quickly hide this logo here in the middle. So once again, we're going to go to the marquee tool and select the logo in the middle here, and also just make sure that the layer here is selected. I'm just going to call this logo 2. Now I'm going to go ahead now and just make sure that the green here is still there from the corporate color. I'm going to go ahead now and go to Edit, Fill, and this time we're going to use the background color, which is the corporate green, and go OK. And there we go. We've now just sort of masked out the logo in the middle. I'll just go Control D, select none. But I haven't actually erased it permanently. As you can tell, if I turn off logo 2, the logo in the middle is still there. But let's go back to logo 2 because that's the one that I like better. Like that. So just make sure that you've got the logo in the bottom corner here and the block out in the middle on the same layer. So for example, if I turn off these layers here, you can see that there is the Xbox One logo here and the block out here in the middle, blocking out the logo in the middle, like that. If I turn it back on, there we go. So we are going to complete this by adding in 2 more images to the page. So if I go up here, I've got this really cool image of an Xbox. So I'm going to go ahead now and go Control A, select all, Control C, copy. I'm going to go back to the HeroShot.psd file and go Control V to paste. Now, as you can see, the image is very, very small, and we want to go ahead and just enlarge it a bit. But before we do that, we need to make sure it's going to be a smart object, like that. And I'm just going to make sure that layer is called Image 2. So I'm just going to tuck the image here into the corner, like that. And now I can go ahead and enlarge it. So Control T to transform. And I'm just going to drag it from the corner here with Shift and just enlarge it and leave a little bit of a black space in between and go Enter, and there we go. So now we're going to add in the last image. I'm going to go ahead now and go to this image here of the Xbox. Control A, select all, Control C, copy, back to HeroShot, Control V to paste, like that. Now, what I want to do is I actually want to crop out this image here. I want to get rid of the logo here because the logo has already been represented here in the green. So I'm just going to go ahead with the marquee tool, and I'm going to select the part with the logo there. And just remember to make sure that your layer is selected. I'm going to call this one Image 3, like so. So making sure that layer is selected. I'm going to go in now and just hit backspace just to delete that logo out of the image, and Control D for no select. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly do one more little trim. Marquee tool again. I'm just going to delete a little bit off the side here and go backspace, delete, Control D, none. And then with the V key for move, I'm going to shift this image down here to the bottom. I'm going to line it up with the arrow keys and go Smart Object, Transform, and we're just going to move it up a little bit. Like that. Enter to confirm, and that placement looks pretty good. So I just want to make sure everything is properly aligned. I'm just going to zoom in into the image here, and just to make sure that the height of the image on the left is the same as the height as the image on the right. So I'm just going to go ahead now and activate the rulers using Control R, and I'm going to select, make sure the image 3 is selected. I'm going to drag the guide down like that, You can tell that this image here is slightly taller. So I'm just going to go ahead now and select that image, image 2. Control T for transform. And I'm just going to make it a little bit more shorter. Like that. Enter. Cool. So it looks properly aligned. I'm going to go ahead now to view and show and just get rid of the guides. And there we go. Okay, so the hero shot is now finished. So as you can see here, the main subject, which is the controller, is the focal point of the image. We have some support images here on the left and the right at the bottom. And we have this carefully placed logo here in the corner. And also take attention with the amount of space there is around everything. There is all the space around all the elements, which creates attention and detail. So that's pretty much it. Thanks very much. I hope you had a bit of fun, and I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.